This is my third video recap on the Run on Less event. Check out those earlier videos if you like. 10 different companies provide an overview of how they are approaching the transition to cleaner electric transportation. Today's profile is OK Produce. They love the work they do, transporting fresh fruits and vegetables into and out of their Fresno, California warehouse, and they love good puns or bad puns. It all depends on whether you find it punny or not. I'm going to change things up and first talk about their electric trucks, then go into the infrastructure that support them. Let's get figgy with it. Currently, OK Produce has completed phase one of their three-phase plan to electrify their fleet. They began planning this even before California's proposed ban on diesel trucks. They operate 10 Freightliner e-Cascada semi-trucks. I covered them in my last video. Like Schneider, theirs is a 6x4 tandem tractor. 2 rear axles, both driven by Detroit e-axles. 438 kilowatt hour battery. The average EV car is about 75 kilowatt hours. Tesla Semi is estimated to be double that of the Freightliner. Good for about 220 miles, not as much as the Tesla, but fleet operators are masters of optimization. They specify their equipment to do the job at hand. OK Produce smartly decided to start off easy and work their way up. Early on, they used these battery electric trucks on routes 40 to 60 miles. When they came back at 73% battery, they knew they could do more. They pushed them out to 80 to 120 miles round trip, starting off empty and then returning fully loaded. On that route, the trucks came back with about half the battery remaining, so they can still do more. The drivers reported how much they love the quieter trucks compared to their diesel counterparts. They also have 3 orange EV yard tractors, sometimes called a terminal tractor. These are configured as a 4x2, so a single rear axle is being driven. Battery size is between 100 to 180 kilowatt hours. They get specified by operating hours, not miles. Batteries can recharge in as little as 2 hours. OK Produce says that despite all the work they have to do, they never get below 40%. Look at that plug. That's not CCS, that's not CHAdeMO, and that's definitely not Tesla's NACS. That's the DC version of GBT. That's a standard used in China. Orange EVs are made in Missouri, but they decided to use that plug. I'm not sure why, looking into it. Most of them are moving empty trailers around the yard, and then they get loaded and moved out by the Freightliners. It's not a sexy application, but it's really a no-brainer. They're never more than a few hundred feet from a charger. Electric yard tractors are just a great idea. Now let's look at their infrastructure. I mentioned that OK Produce has a 3-phase plan to electrify their fleet. Planning is key to success for transitioning to electric transportation. Plan early, plan often. Everything has a lead time. Trucks, solar, chargers, utility infrastructure, and then there are all the people required to connect those pieces together. Solar and warehouses go together like... And OK Produce has deployed lots of it. About 12,000 solar panels cover their warehouse and their facility, turning sun into electricity, sunlight that would otherwise be absorbed by the building as heat. 2.5 megawatts on the roof, 2 megawatts through solar canopies. These covered parking places will become much more common, and personally, I can't wait for it. They help keep the cars underneath cool in the sun, provide shelter from rain and snow. It's a great addition. Given their existing electrical service capacity and all the additional solar generated on site, OK Produce was able to deploy phase 1 without requiring more capacity from the grid. For their Freightliner e-Cascada trucks, they have 9 dispensers fed by 3 cabinets. When it comes to DC fast charging, there are 2 basic configurations. Put most of the electronics into a standalone cabinet, and those dispense electricity into separate pieces of hardware called a dispenser. The other way to do it is put it all into one enclosure. That's referred to as an all-in-one. In both cases, other cabinets need to be located nearby, operated by the utility company to supply the 3-phase electricity. If you want a better understanding of this, I recommend Brandon Flash's channel. He has some super deep analysis of charging infrastructure as well as some other stuff. They currently have 3 Flex 180 cabinets by Heliox. As the name suggests, it's capable of providing up to 180 kilowatts. That gets distributed across 3 dispensers. Each one is simple. Plug it in, there's no payment terminal. Blue light is charging, green light means it's ready to dispense, red indicates a fault. If only one of the 3 dispensers is used, it can provide up to the full 180 kilowatts. By the way, that also happens to be the maximum charging rate when using one port or one plug on the Freightliner truck, so it's a good match. If 2 of the 3 are being used, it splits the power 120 and 60 kilowatts. And if all 3 ports are being used, they max out at 60 kilowatts each. This is where smart software comes into play. Which trucks need the power the most? What charger should the trucks park at when they come in? All these decisions can cause headaches for fleet operators, but smart software can make the right decisions for you. This is their Phase 1 charging solution. It's not high-powered, but it gets the job done. If the trucks come back with 50% battery, it will take over 3.5 hours to recharge them at 60 kilowatts. That's slow, but they probably are going to be parked overnight, so there's plenty of time to charge, and electricity demand and prices are much cheaper overnight, so it all works out for them. But to do longer routes, they're going to need occasionally faster charging. They will need charging that will brock you. Schneider has higher powered chargers for their Freightliners. Pepsi definitely has more power for its Tesla trucks. OK Produce needs an upgrade. Phase 2 of their transition involves an additional 2 megawatts of solar with battery energy storage on site, an additional 28 ports for charging, allowing them to get more battery electric trucks. Plan early, plan often. They've barely started construction for Phase 2, and Phase 3 sounds like it's already fully planned. 14 chargers will be installed as part of Phase 2. Heliox does make a higher-powered cabinet, but for this, they selected ABB's Terra 184, an all-in-one design, each with 2 cables or ports capable of charging 2 trucks. That model is very popular for fleets and for public charging, so you may have come across one in your drives. When talking about Phase 2, they mentioned that they will be adding Volvo trucks to their fleet. Volvo makes an electric version of their popular VNR. And guess what? That truck will be featured in my next video. How do you like them apples? Thank you for watching this video. Check out the full set of interviews on the Run On Less website. Like and subscribe. I've got more videos coming. Thank you for watching.